Welcome to Wealth Champs Podcast. I'm your host, Julius Hammond. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe, hit that notification bell for all the latest content and episodes that's coming up. We got some fire episodes coming up here in the near future. Won't reveal any guests, but it's going to be some fire guests coming in that's going to really give you guys some great content, some great knowledge, and just a great episode. Also, go follow us on Rumble at Wealth Champs Podcast. We also have some merch that's going to be coming on. I'm kind of working out right now, but we're going to have some T-shirts, some shorts, and a few other things that, for you guys to wear to kind of support the content. So with all that being said, today I have a special guest in the building, okay? He is from Africa, from Nigeria, actually, to be more precise. He migrated over here to the U.S., I think of 17 or 18 years old. I'm going to let him tell his story, but he's awesome. He's a fitness trainer. He helps a lot of brides. So brides, hit him up. He helps you guys get into the nice fit to be able to wear that dress to look good going down that aisle so your dad can pass you off to your husband, okay? But his name is Odi Amiewalan. Odi Amiewalan. How you doing today, my brother? Doing pretty good, man. So I know you a little bit, man. Odi lives in me and my wife. He lives in our apartment complex, not our unit, but our apartment complex. We have a nice little apartment complex here in Ontario, California, and he's, I haven't worked out with him yet. My wife has, and my wife complains a lot. So I know she's a complainer, but he's trained her a little bit, and so I've seen his work, and he's very, very good at what he does. But Odi, can you tell the audience kind of like your story a little bit on how you became what you became, and then we can go further about your business and what you do to help clients out there.
Of course. So originally, like you said, I'm from Nigeria, and I migrated from Nigeria to United States when I was 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, before all my fitness, I've always played sports in the past, soccer, football, basketball, but I never niched down to just helping other people out.
Okay.
Until I got to college, that's when over time, like I started helping my roommate out, and I started helping some of my classmates, and they wanted to just get in shape. And from there, I just picked up the experience of basically training them, helping them get into the shape that they wanted to get. And without even realizing, I didn't even know that was a gift that I had, because everybody does have a gift, I didn't realize that was a gift. And then and time passes, years and years, literally at least 4 or 5 years passes, and then that's when I started realizing, okay, I'm really good at this. I've helped so many people in the past, and I want to continue to help more people. I was pushing it away for a while because, of course, coming from Africa, parents is like you either have to be a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant, one or the other. So I went to college for one of those, but I just wasn't passionate about it. And in time, now I need to go back to what God has given me, as a gift, and I need to help people doing that. So that's when I basically became, I guess, a coach or a personal trainer. And now I'm actually doing it full time, helping, women, especially brides, helping them get to their goals, making them actually feel good, not just physically, but also emotionally, on that stage, and making them, realize that, they can feel more comfortable, confident in their own body. So that's just a little bit of myself. Of course, I also have my family member down here in the state as well. So which is just me. I have 2 brothers, sister, mom and dad, and all happy family.
Where are you in the? Okay, good. Where are you in the pecking order when it comes to your family? Like, are you the middle child, the oldest?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest out of everybody, huh?
Out of everybody.
Yeah.
The oldest and the tallest too.
What's crazy? Like I grew up being the oldest too, so it's crazy because I'm the oldest out of all my family. So I'm the oldest out of my cousins, and it's in my book as well. I'm the oldest out of all my cousins and my sisters and everything like that, right? So as the oldest, and I know you can kind of feel me on this, we are always like, we have to set the example. We got to be, it's like, well, my younger cousin, he hit somebody or he threw a rock over the fence and it hit a car, right? And it's like, well, Julius, you're supposed to be the example. You're supposed to be the leader. Well, I can't control that. No, it's your fault. Like, So
the funny thing is that I actually was talking to my parents yesterday about it, and we were talking about religion, and stuff like that. Me personally, I'm a Muslim,
Sure.
so I do fasting, Ramadan. So this month I'm fasting, and I was telling my mom about it, and my mom was like, "Why are you doing that?" Because she's actually on my mom's side, they're all Muslim, but my dad's side is actually Christian. So they were like, "Why are you doing that?" You know that they're completely different from your dad's side. I was like, yes, they are. But at the same time, she was telling me that you set an example for all your brothers. Like, they're going to follow whatever you're doing. I was like, my brothers, they have their own brains. They can actually do whatever they want to do. But this is how I am and how I can get close to God. This is my own way of getting closer to God. And she was just telling me exactly the same thing you were just saying. Like, because you're the oldest, all your siblings is going to follow your footstep. So I cannot control that. Like, because we're the oldest, they think that we can control that, but we really can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because, like you said, when you're oldest, you can't control it. But then one thing I know about the African, because my wife is Nigerian, like I stated before, one thing I know about the African community, because it is a community, they really take that. It takes a village to raise a child type deal, right? My wife is the oldest girl out of all the family, so they kind of look at her as the mother figure. It's like, well, if Gloria does it, then we can do it too, or why aren't she doing it? You know what I mean? That stigma sometimes can be very stressful, in the fact that it's like, whoa, damn, I'm 40 years old, 35 years old, however old you are, and I should be old enough to make my own decisions. But then in African parents' eyes, it's like, no, I'm still your parent. You still kind of, I'm like, hold on, I got my own place. I got my own job. I do my own thing.
Yeah.
I should be able to live my own life. They don't see it that way. Kind of go a little bit more about your story in regards to how was it growing up, being the oldest with your family and things like that. You don't have to, talk about, because I understand African culture and I understand certain things they don't want out there, but just things that you feel comfortable talking about, so that way the audience and anybody that's going through this can kind of, compare and try to see, okay, I'm going through this too. How can I get myself out of this to be where Odi is at right now?
Correct. So, being in Nigerian, and a lot of Nigerian African people can actually vouch for this, is that, you have to follow basically what your dad and your mom tells you to do. It doesn't matter what age you are. Even if you're like 100 years old and they're like 150, you still have to follow the rules. And migrating from Nigeria to United States, I kind of have like a little bit of a break, because I'm in United States now. Like, you cannot, instill that on me, while I'm in this country. But while I was in Nigeria, because I'm the oldest, I basically have to lead an example for the family. It's almost like you are the prince of a certain country, and you have to lead a great example, because not just your family is watching you, your neighbors also watching you, because you're the oldest. While I was in Nigeria as well, like, my dad was also basically taking me everywhere. Like, it's like, you have to see how I do things, so you can basically follow my rules and follow the way I do things. That's including your marriage, that's including work, that's including, family. That's just every single little bit of it, So, of course, 16 years down the line after I grew up in Nigeria, I came in when I was 16, like November of 2008. Came to United States, and the first year that I came in, I noticed that things were different. Like, the kids over here, they're not as strict on by the parents versus the kids, in Nigeria. But I will tell you something though, the discipline that I've had in Africa, that have made me who I am today, because that have actually made me to basically realize, like, I didn't have nothing back there, and whatever I have, doesn't matter if it's little or big right now, I still have to humble myself. Like, okay, going back to Nigeria, my back is against the wall. We didn't have food, we didn't have water, but that actually helped me to hustle more, to realize what I have right now is more wealth versus what I had in Nigeria. But anyways, time I came to the United States, I realized a lot of kids, they're less lenient on, when they were in the United States. So I used that to my advantage. And the funny story is that I actually called the cops on my dad. One time, he basically told me that you cannot get out after, I think after 9 p.m. and I have to go to bed or something like that, because I'm also setting an example for my older brothers and my little sister. And I stayed out on one of my friend's house till 9:30, and I was 30 minutes home. And he locked me outside, so I called the cops on him, and he still brings it up to today.
Wow. They never forget. That's one thing they never forget, man.
Never.
It's like, hold on, that happened 10 years ago. You still bringing that up? Like, okay.
Oh, yeah. And he basically told me that, okay, I know we're not in United States. I mean, we're not in Nigeria, but since this is his home, he can basically do whatever he wants. Because we get spanked till not just a little spanking, literally belts
you get
and everything.
Beatings, yes. That's pretty what you call it, yes.
Only because they're trying to instill discipline into you, But thinking back now, I'm not going to, of course, spank my kids like the way my parents spanked me, but still, I'm going to instill discipline into them. Okay, what you're going to have in the future is going to be hard dedication. It's going to be hard work that you're going to have to put the work into it. And it's just simple as that. And that's what I noticed they're trying to teach us, to have on for generations and generations and generations. But after that day, I guess about a year later, that's when I moved out of my parents' house, went to college, trying to do exactly the same thing, that they want me to do, which is they want me to go to school for either a doctor, lawyer, or an accountant. So I went for accounting. But funny things, 3 years later, I dropped out of college. And even that was still hell, because parents, they're used to their own ways and they want us to go to college, follow the rules that they had to go through as well. So I dropped out of college, and breaking that news to them was like a disaster. My dad was yelling at me over the phone. Luckily, I moved to California, and he can't really whoop my ass at that point. And so, and he really wanted me to move back home. He's like, I brought you to you. This is how they say it. It's like, I brought you to United States. I can take you back. I was like, nah, no, you can't.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm old enough now, yes.
Yeah, you cannot do it that way. But that basically taught me that I need to prove something to him. I need to prove him that I can do this by myself, that I do not need the college degree. For those people that actually want to go to college, all power to you. 100%. But me personally, it wasn't my cup of tea, and I wanted to find my own ways. And that's when I also realized my gift as well, what God has given me, to help the people out there. And till today, he's still iffy about me doing my own thing. Literally till today, it's still iffy about it. Like I said, this Zoom call, I usually have a Zoom call with my family, because we all spread around. Actually, FaceTime with my family, because we all spread around all over the country, So this phone call that I had last, he was a little bit, salty about it, about me still coming, because he wanted me to, of course, go back home. So,
well, it's funny that you say the whole discipline thing, because there's a few nuggets in there I want to tap on real quick. It's funny that you say the whole discipline thing, because meeting my wife, I met her out here. From Los Angeles. I lived in Los Angeles for a long time, and then I moved out here. Been out in IE for about 11 years now. Pretty much as long as me and Glory been together. And so when Israel, our son, my son through marriage, but her son used to really act up when he was younger, like 5, 6, 7 years old, right? And she used to beat him, and I used to be like, what are you doing? Child CPS is going to get called. CPS don't in African culture. It don't matter. Like they don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, you don't want to listen now. I'm gonna beat your ass. Like I'm like, huh? Like, and she would beat him. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, we gonna get in trouble. And but I see what I will say is, from her doing that, I see that he's one of the most well-behaved kids that I've ever dealt with. Well-behaved. Yeah. Like, we can be out in somewhere, and everybody always comes to us, even to this day, he's 16, always come to us like, man, you have such a well-behaved son. and I see the results from that.
Yeah.
I was a little scared in the beginning because I'm like, hold on, like you gonna get the cops over here. Like I've never had nothing on my report card. I've always been clean. I don't want no felonies or anything. But I understand the whole discipline aspect of it. And you said breaking that news to your parents. I know African in African cultures they value education.
Yes,
and if you're not a doctor, if you're not a lawyer, or if you're an accountant or something where you're highly educated and you're around highly educated, and then not only just that, they value status.
Correct.
And I'm like, why does who cares? Like, keep up with the Joneses type thing. Well, this person has a dashiki and a whatever you call it, the hat on. I can't, not a turban. I don't know if it's a turban or something. It's called something else. But they have the gold and all that. Her mom is like that. And I'm like, well, how come you guys are always like, well, this person has this, I'm gonna try to compete with this.
Because they always do. Every single one of them.
I'm like, come on, guys, like, stop, like, be you. Stop trying to compare and compete.
Yeah,
like, be you. Yeah. You're meant to stand out, not stand. Not blend in. You know
exactly.
So,
and the funny thing is that my uncle, he's a doctor, like OBGYN. Basically, he gives birth to kids and stuff like that. My dad, till today, still try to compete with him.
Wow.
My dad still try to compete with him only because he has a status and he try to make his sons, which is us, compete with his kids as well. And hence why he wants me to move back and go back to school, go back to college.
But what good does that do? It don't do anything.
No, it doesn't.
It just makes your father feels better.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's like that's not the life you want.
That's not.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's wrong with the generation.
Correct.
I'm a big proponent and component of entrepreneurship. Now, again, like you said, going to college and doing your own, that's what you want to do. But I understand college is there to refine your gift, not give you a gift. God gave you the gift when you were born. So if you're a painter, if you're a plumber, if you're a welder, whatever gift you got, leverage that gift, be disciplined and really hone in on that gift and really hone in that gift to where you can go out there and you can really show the world what you got. Yeah. That's what I'm about. I don't like when people say, "Oh, go to college and do this and work for someone." Like that's the system that we're in. We're in the system, the school system. Correct. They want workers. They want people who are not free thinkers and not go out there to do and help others. I'm a big proponent of free thinking. Go out there and do what God gave you to do, what the gift God gave you. Go out there and leverage that and show that to the world and help others do the same.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Seriously though, there are some people that also want to work for other people as well because that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
But again, all power to them because that's what they enjoy doing. They don't want the entrepreneur life because as an African, or as a Nigerian, is that I feel like there's so much I have to give to this world. And working for somebody is limiting, my power, limiting my gift itself, to help other people out. Yeah, absolutely. That's how I feel.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your background on that. Let's kind of go into your business a little bit. Yeah. So kind of tell the audience a little bit more about your business, and how do you really help? Like maybe some techniques, some eating. Obviously, eating is probably 80% of it. People don't even understand working out is like 10%. The rest is eating. Eating and mental. But kind of go on, how you help brides and just people in general get in shape.
Of course. Before I get into the eating and the physical aspect, though, I was just on a Zoom call and I was telling one of my team members that it's not just the eating and the physical part that matters. It's actually the emotional part, the mental part. And that part is hard to, actually dial down because if you're used to trauma, if you're used to, negative part of your life to help you basically get you to where you're currently at and you're trying to lose the weight and you're trying to, look better, image better. The mental part and the mental part, basically, that part itself is what's more important than just the eating part. Because if you're not having your mental part, right, if you're not having your spiritual part right, like that eating part is actually going to be difficult for you to get. I'll give you an example. we do have a bunch of people, but like clientels that come up to us and ask us, like to help them, get to ready for the wedding, because I deal with brides a lot. But at the same time, most of them, they are struggling with like emotional part, like the emotional damage, from their past, and how they're not being accepted by sometimes their friends or sometimes their families. So they are trying to lose weight to prove to to those people like, hey, I can get it done. They're trying to prove to them. But that's starting your journey in a negative way.
Okay.
Because you shouldn't start your journey in a negative way. You should start your journey in a positive way. Like if you're trying to prove to somebody that, hey, I'm trying to lose 20, 15 pounds, like that's just basically just starting it like, okay, I'm trying to prove to somebody. What if you already proved to them? What are you going to do afterwards? Are you going to go back to your old habits?
There you go.
Yeah.
So
that is the part that is more important. And what I tell people, whenever you start, whenever you start your journey, it doesn't matter if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to gain weight, if you're just trying to maintain or even look good for somebody else, start it for yourself. Start it for yourself. So with brides, I do work with brides, of course. With brides, I basically help them get ready for the wedding, not just in a physical way for them to look good in their wedding dress, but also in an emotional way, so that whenever they walk down the aisle, they feel confident. Not just that they look confident, they also feel confident, so that whenever they jump on that stage and their husband is looking at them, not just they're having like a smile on their face, but at the same time their husband's also crying and having an emotional breakdown. There's some men out there that
emotional connection,
emotional connection, towards their wife. Like, oh wow, she doesn't just look good on the outside, but you can feel it. You can feel the energy, coming from her, how confident she is walking down the aisle. And that's what I basically help a lot of clientels that come to me feel on a regular basis.
Wow. That's powerful, man. I didn't really think about the spiritual connection of that, because I do work out, but I'm not a bodybuilder or anything like that, but I do understand from playing football and boxing and things like that growing up, understand how important working out is to the body and things like that, right? But I didn't really grasp the spiritual connection part of it.
Yeah.
You have to be spiritually in tune, because like you said, if you go if you go into any situation, but pertaining to working out, if you're going into trying to prove something to somebody, because they're saying, okay, well they're saying, oh, you can't do it because of what XYZ, whatever the reason why, right?
Yeah.
And I say, this is what I say.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Why are you caring about what they say?
That's true.
And what they feel and what they think.
True. Yeah.
You should be doing it for yourself.
Correct.
At the end of the day. And when you have that mentality and you go into it that way, then regardless of what somebody says, you know that you're doing it for the right reasons. And
to add on top of that is that on top of that, I can give somebody a roadmap of how to lose weight. It's really not that difficult. I can tell you exactly, this is what you need to do on a weekly basis. You're going to want to lose the weight. That's it. But if you're not emotionally in tune, if you're not spiritually in tune, with yourself, you are going to give up literally within 30 days. You really are. And most of them do. And that's why they always, which I do believe that these people need to, is that they always look for different coaches every single month.
Yeah.
Like there's a bunch of coaches out there, literally a bunch of coaches that do exactly the same thing that I do.
Yeah.
But each clientele is looking for the magic pill. But without realizing it, they need to be literally in tune with themselves. They need to be spiritually in tune, because the food is going to come, the weight is going to come up. But if you're constantly being stressed, if you're constantly just like being in emotional damage, you are not going to get to where you want to go. Like you're really not. But at the same time, if you are well balanced, and if you work on your emotional part, if you work on your spiritual part, your meditation, those stuff is going to help you lose the weight. Because you're not just going to lose the weight, you're going to feel good while you're doing it.
There you go.
You're not going to struggle during the process, you're not going to regret, oh, I'm just losing this weight because I'm trying to prove to my friend over there that I can lose 20, 15 pounds.
Yeah.
And boy, after I try to prove to him, he really doesn't care about me at the end of the day. I'm just trying to prove to him.
Thank you. Yes.
And after I try to prove to him, I get to where I need to be. I'm like, okay, now I can go back and start eating cheeseburger again. Again, that's going to put you back to where
exactly
where you started from. And then again, the same cycle starts. You find another trainer. Hey, I'm trying to get to this goal because I'm trying to prove something to somebody else. And again, the same cycle starts over and over. I've been in this industry for over a decade now, and I see the same story
over and
over again. But what me and my team literally tone down on is helping them in a spiritual way, because that is going to help you, with your physical part. That's going to help you lose the weight. That's going to help you with your diet, with how healthy you want to eat, Yeah. So whenever somebody come up to me and ask me, hey, I'm trying to lose 15 pounds within X amount of time, and I tell them like, okay, well, why are you trying to lose it?
Yeah.
Why don't you like the way you look right now? Or because I have this chunky stomach, or because I'm not good enough for somebody else. They usually tell me the reasons like that, But and I just tell them like, are you doing it for them or are you doing it for yourself?
There you go.
Figure out who you're doing it for.
There you go.
If you're doing it for yourself, then we can actually start working on, your progress. You can actually start working on your dedication, towards what I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
No, absolutely. And, and to further piggyback off of what you're saying, gym memberships, they probably make the most money the first quarter of the year because everybody does their New Year's resolution, and they say, I used to do it too. That's I'm a victim of this. I know. I used to do it too. First of the year, I'm gonna get this gym membership with Bally's. Is Bally still around? Bally's 24 hours, Planet Fitness, things like that, right? And I'm gonna be good. And you see the gym packed. Like I'm a circuit guy. I like doing circuit, training. I do bench press, and then I'll go and do, lifts and deadlifts or whatever, right? And then I'll do that, and that's my sets, because that's how I normally like to do that to get the cuts, right? And I can't even do that the first quarter of the year because of all the machines, free weights and the machines are taken. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'll be lucky if I go into the goddamn pool and where I can get on the sauna to where to get kind of replenish myself or whatever.
Yeah. And the funny thing about that is that starting of the year, New Year's resolution, everybody always go into the mentality, right?
Yep.
At least 65% to 75% of people that start that drop off after, I would say, about 30 days.
I know.
Literally 30 days. And
it's
now
it's a cycle.
It's a cycle, and people are realizing that now. So now what they're doing is that they don't start in the beginning. They actually start on the 15th of January.
Okay.
And then same cycle starts, or they start the New Year's resolution. I'm trying to get ready for summertime. Same thing. And this is how
they want their hot girl summer or whatever, the
and
females.
This is how the gym industry really monetize on a lot of people. They get them in a contract for at least a year plus. Simple. $30 is easy to come out of your account, and you're not even going to realize it. A month in, half the gym is already gone. About 3 months in, probably around May or so, people are coming towards you now, towards trainers, towards the gym. I'm trying to lose weight. All they're going to be doing is basically jumping on cardio equipment, trying to lose the weight as fast as they can. But then after August, literally half those people are gone again.
Okay.
And then repeat the same cycle. January comes, hey, let's start this thing again. We're trying to lose weight, trying to lose 15 pounds by summertime, and then same cycle comes again. Half the people come, 65% to at least 75% of people cancel the membership. None of you cancel, just basically forget about it. Oh, I'm going to do it again next year. I'm going to do it again next year. I'm going to do it again next year. Again, that actually leads to the emotional part. And the spiritual part that I was talking about earlier is that if you are literally doing it for something else, I'm trying to lose weight because I want to look good in front of my friend, you're not going to get the result that you want. So how about we work on that spiritual part, we work on that, that mental part of yourself, so you can do it for you, so you can slowly lose the weight, so you can actually have that weight off for a long period of time versus you just trying to do it for somebody else.
Absolutely. You're absolutely 1,000% correct. Thank you for that insight. I would say, what else, or let me ask this question. outside of getting the spiritual part and the mental part down, you're absolutely correct about that. The eating, okay, because now there's keto, there's what kind of diets? There's keto diet, there's fasting. Fasting is always good. My wife is big on fasting. I fast as well, but I do more of an intermittent fasting. Because I have to eat something at a certain time, you know, because I'm a growing man, so I gotta feed the temple, right? But what would you say in your expertise, doing this over a decade? What would you say is the best, if it is their diet, or is there's not a diet? You can eat pretty much whatever you want as long as you're working out and you're burning the calories you're supposed to burn. Like, can you get, because we get fed through internet, through infomercials, through commercials, through all kinds of stuff. Hey, get on this, do this, and it's like, well, damn, you pay $39.99 for this program, or you pay $200 for this program, or you get this pill, creatine, amino acids. It was something, I don't know if you saw the episode with Allie Covington. She's a bodybuilder. She's a former bodybuilder. If you haven't get a chance, look at that episode. Okay. She was telling me creatine is, I mean, she's coming at it from a different angle, and I understand, but creatine is, it's okay for you, but it helps you bulk up. But then if you stop taking it, you start like losing the weight or whatever, right? So she was saying amino acids is good, but something else she said, I can't remember the name of it right now. I have to go back on the episode to see it, but she was saying if you take this actually helps you, you know, retain the muscle and gain it and all that stuff. But what would you say in regards to all that?
So we want to start with diet and food.
Okay.
Everybody's different when it comes to diet. You know, you just have to find what works for you. But the method that I usually tell people to do is that you have to be consistent for at least 3 weeks. It takes about 3 weeks to 4 weeks for your body to change. Be consistent with whatever you're eating. So if you're eating like chicken and broccoli or pasta or whatever, bread, you have to be consistent with it and be moderate about it for about 3 weeks and see how your body changes. So after that, you start basically manipulating your food, like cycling your carbs if you want to cycle your carbs, you know, but your protein also stays high no matter what, especially if you're lifting weights, because muscle burns fat. Cardio does not burn fat. If you want the skinny look and the, you know, skinny fat look, then you can just go outside and just do a bunch of cardio, and then you're going to just look like skinny fat. Simple as that. But you don't want that. You want muscle, because that's more sustainable. That is going to stay in your body, you know, for a long period of time, and at the same time, it's going to burn the fat that you need to burn. So what I do tell people, especially brides, and because they're trying to lose weight for a certain period of time. They're not just trying to lose weight, they're trying to look good in their wedding dress. So what I tell them is that you need to eat at least 3 times a day. Do not starve yourself, because that is going to give you the opposite effect, you know. Eat at least 3 times a day. Let's start with that. 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, same as what you used to eat when you were in, you know, high school, or, you know, with your living with your parents. You always eat 3 times a day. So I tell them to start with that. Just make sure every single meal has protein in it. You know, you do need protein at the end of the day. Okay, every single meal has protein, and let's be consistent for at least 3 weeks, and then see how your body changes. But after 3 weeks, I'm going to basically give you a guide of how to manipulate, you know, your calories, at the same time your carbs and your fats and all of that. There is a science behind it, but simple way to actually help you get to the best shape you want. You need to eat. If you're eating less, you're not going to basically lose the fat that you want to lose, because your body is going to hold on to lots of food, because the body is really smart. And at the end of the day, what the body wants to do is like keep you alive. So if you're restricting yourself from nutrients, if you're restricting yourself from food, your body is going to save as much food as it can. And where can it get the food from? Whatever you already have in your body. So
it's going to eat itself.
Correct, it's going to eat itself. And at the same time, you're going to be like, why am I not losing the weight that I want? Because you're not eating, you're not feeding the body. So feed the body, you know. And yes, there's different diets out there. You know, there's keto, there's, you know, intermittent fasting and such, you know. But if you're a fasting person, if you like to fast, do that. You know, fast for a period of time. But don't starve yourself. Still get your nutrients in. because the body doesn't need the nutrients. If you're a keto person, I'm personally not a big fan of keto.
I'm not neither. Yeah, I tried it one time. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I've tried it before, and I didn't like it at all.
No.
Because the body does need carbs because our brain function on glycogen. So, if you are a keto person, try it as much as you can. But at the same time, I do advise you to go back to a regular nutritional plan. Whatever, if you do have a coach that's teaching you that, go back to a nutritional plan that's going to help you get to your goals. But the fasting is really good. Fasting really helps you spiritually. Main part I'm doing it for, spiritually and self-control.
There you go.
Because nowadays a lot of us are lacking self-control when it comes to food. We do have, there's a such thing as gluttony. A lot of us have not the ability to control what you eat, because if you, let's say for example, you have a sugar cravings, right? And you're fasting for a long period of time, and then somebody put a piece of donuts right there in front of you, and they tell you you can only eat one, but in reality they have two donuts in front of you. They're only hiding the other one, and they tell you can only eat one, and then you grab that donut and then you eat it. You eat that donut itself. And then they show you the other donut. At the same time, what you're gonna think of is like, oh, I've already ate one. The other one's not gonna hurt.
It's not gonna hurt. Yeah,
correct.
What can it hurt to do?
What can it hurt to do it again? And then
that's the misconception. Yep.
And that is the mental part. That's the discipline part. A lot of people don't have the discipline to do that. They don't have control over their food. If you can have control over your food, you can basically have control over your diet, and at the same time, you can lose the weight that you need to lose. Again, all reverse back to spiritual side. Also mental part. How disciplined are you, to get to your goals? So things like that. I cannot just tell you like, okay, there's a certain diet for everybody. There's really not. Everybody's different. Literally, everybody's different. There's not. How did you say it again? It's one trick pony or something like that.
Yeah, it's not one all fits all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, correct. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
That's why I do recommend people who's trying to be serious with their lively goals or with their nutrition to get a coach. Doesn't matter who it is that can guide them through the process. Just know that I would tell everybody this. Just know that you need to eat to lose weight. It's actually the opposite. You don't need to eat to lose weight. You actually need to eat to lose weight, and that's what the commercials and infomercials and all that, they tell you don't eat, diet, do all this stuff. So they're telling you the opposite. I always tell people whatever they say on infomercials and certain things like that, like the government or whatever. Do the opposite. Yeah, is that simple? Whatever they tell you to do, do the polar opposite. Everything is polarity. There's a duality. Everything is up, down, left, right, in, out. Whatever it is, if they're in, you out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, so exactly. That way, and then you'll get the results you want. Yeah, you want.
Creatine. Talk to me about creatine, amino acids, things like that, because I'm a big I do my turmeric pills and things like that. So I'm a natural person majority of the time. Every now and then I kind of, I'll go get an In-N-Out burger or something when I'm with the family or whatever and don't feel like cooking. No problem, whatever, right? But I do a lot of turmeric. I do a lot of, just like amino acids and things like that. But tell the audience or anybody who wants to know, like, okay, well, I'm into that. Is that good for me? Is it not good for me? What should I take? What shouldn't I take? In your expert opinion, what would you say?
So a lot of people have different opinions when it comes to creatine and when it comes to supplements. I personally, before I basically introduce supplements to my clients, I tell them, like, we need to figure out if you can do this without supplements.
Okay.
And then I probably a month or 2 months in, then I start introducing supplements, to them. But when it comes to creatine is good. Creatine is literally exactly the same thing as red meat. Literally, they're exactly the same thing. The only thing is that one is in the powder form and one is literally in the eating form. Correct.
Okay.
Creatine helps you get stronger, number one. Okay. It helps you retain water, but that bloatness, that water itself is just bloatness, and that goes away in a certain period of time if you start doing cardio, if you start eating, the foods, the right nutrition.
Where do
that
you
need,
retain the water at, if you mind me asking?
like in your muscles.
Oh, in the muscles.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
you retain the water. So that's why whenever people start taking creatine, they look bigger.
Yeah.
But whenever they stop taking creatine, they get smaller.
That's what Ali was saying.
Correct. Yeah. They get smaller. And that is normal. You're not losing muscle. You just having help from a different source that can help you basically have the water retention that can help you lift heavier and at the same time help you look bigger.
So creatine and steroids is not the same thing, correct?
Same thing.
Okay, I just want to make sure because
Totally
what about HGH? Is that the same, creatine and HGH?
So talking about growth hormones, which is HGH, growth hormones, and then of course regular supplements you can get from the store is completely different.
Okay.
Because growth hormones you have to get prescribed by, I guess, a doctor, and I don't know information about growth hormones, as much. I'm not going to give you false information.
There you go. We're not giving false information, guys. We're just conversation here. That's all.
Yeah, to getting attacked. But when it comes to creatine itself, like creatine is definitely necessary. If you are lifting weights and if you feel like you need to get stronger in the gym, it will help you. It's a supplement. There's a reason why it's called a supplement to help you, hit plateaus, get stronger in the gym at the same time, just look a little bit good. But my recommendation to people is that if you feel like you don't need it, don't take it.
There you go.
If you feel like you don't need it, don't take it. There's no point of it, So that is my recommendation to people. And of course, you were talking about BCAAs earlier. BCAAs actually is really good for you. It helps you recover if you get, if you're really sore from the gym. It actually helps you recover. At the same time, it's also almost like an electrolyte that actually helps you hydrate, your entire body. So, which is good. But my recommendation supplements that I do recommend for people is that you take protein powder. That's really good. Isolated protein powder. BCAAs if you are the type of person that gets really sore. And of course, creatine if you do want to get stronger, if you feel like it's going to help you throughout your journey. Okay,
and now if you're taking these supplements, do you stay on your routine as far as, okay, well, I'm eating 3 times a week, or 3 times a week, 3 times a day, or I'm eating once a day and snacking the rest, but I'm taking supplements as well as with that? Or what would you say? I know it's on a case-by-case scenario, but would you say, okay, it's like someone like me, like, all right, I try to eat 3 times a day.
Yeah.
I usually eat 2, dinner for sure, because wife ain't letting dinner go by. That ain't happening. Breakfast, I try to get breakfast in as much as possible. Yeah. Whenever I'm at the house, I'm always gone.
Yeah.
But lunch, I hardly ever eat.
Yeah.
I'm always breakfast, definitely dinner, but sometimes it's not even breakfast and lunch or just dinner.
Yeah.
But whatever my routine is, stick with the routine, and then within that, add the supplements with that and continue to do that. That's how you would say?
So that's what I would say. It's again, like I say, it's just a supplement. It's to help you, try your fitness journey. So in addition to what you're already doing, adding an extra protein, it's like having the protein that you need for your body, to sustain the muscle that it naturally needs itself. And then, of course, with BCAAs, you can drink it on the go. You can drink it anytime during the day. You can drink it at night. Creatine is an everyday thing. It's like red meat, you can have that on a daily basis. If you don't have it, I think after 2 days, everybody's different, by the way. Everybody's totally different. But I think after 2 or 3 days, you do lose the creatine effect in your body because the water retention does goes away.
Yeah.
But if you want to keep that water, in your body, in your muscles to help you get stronger, to actually make you feel good, you continuously taking that.
Okay. So. Now, what if because I can already hear or see on the comment section, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because this is some good information that he's giving. What if someone is a vegetarian? Like, I mean, I know vegetarian. My sister's a vegetarian. She don't do no meat at all.
Yeah.
Like, I'm more pescatarian than anything. I try to do fish and stay in that genre. But my sister is vegetarian. She don't do no meat.
Yeah.
I know protein can come from there, but I don't know. Are you getting as much protein compared to if you having some chicken or a steak or something like that has a little bit more protein in it because of the bulkiness of it or whatever? Yeah. What would you say for someone who says, well, Odi, I'm a vegetarian. What should I do? How should I do the same things? Do I need to change up some stuff? I don't like meat. I don't want meat because I don't eat that or whatever. What would you say in regards to that?
So my advice to people is that, if people don't watch Dave Aspen, go watch him. His interview with
Dave Aspen.
Dave Aspen.
Dave
yeah.
Aspen. Okay.
Interviews with vegetarians and vegans and all of that. I don't want to trigger nobody, but I'm not a big fan of vegans or vegetarian people. To be honest, I'm not. Yes, it's going to be difficult for you to get your protein in. It's really going to be difficult. Like you have to go to different sources like peas, to get your protein in. But at the same time, there are supplements that can help you with that.
Okay.
With the dietitian, good dietitian, they will tell you that if you don't want supplements, like you're going to be eating twice as much as a regular person. And that it might cause an opposite effect on your body, on your goals, only because it might actually help you probably gain or lose weight. Who knows? Depends on your dietitian and how they help you manipulate your food, Okay. But I don't have a lot of information when it comes to vegetarian, but I would tell you this, that if you that type of person, if you're a vegetarian or if you're a vegan, it is going to take you twice as much. You're going to be eating twice as much food at the same time. It's going to take you twice as much to get your protein in because your body does need protein. And if you're not getting the protein in, you're only going to retain basically fat because you don't have the protein to help you gain the muscle that you need to gain to help you burn the fat. It's just how it goes.
Well, sis, anybody else who's a vegetarian? I know my sister probably like, I don't care, that I'll eat more. I know how she is, but anybody who's a vegetarian.
On top of that, eating more doesn't mean you have to eat the wrong food.
Yeah.
You have to eat the right food,
Yeah.
To get the protein you want. Because whenever I tell people to eat more, they're like, oh, I can eat like 10 pounds of cake, I guess. But no, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, you still got to eat the right food.
Eat the right food. And that's where the difficulty comes in, because eating the right food is really challenging for a lot of people because it is just healthy, I guess, But if I can tell somebody to eat a bunch of junk, of course they're going to eat a bunch of junk because it tastes good and it's just junk.
Yeah.
But if I tell you to eat a lot of healthy food to get you the result that you want, you're going to be regretting it because you're going to be like, hey, this is too much food, but it's actually healthier for you, So that's how it works.
There you go. Tell us a little more about your what's the website called? Via what? Voltarium. Okay. Tell us a little bit more about that and how you kind of go deep into that, like how you really help people through your website.
Yeah.
When people go to your website, what can they look for? Because I went on the website, but I want you to explain a little bit about your business and what they look for when they go on the website.
So Voltarium itself, so the word Voltarium means famous vows, like vow. Like you vow to do something. So that's why I picked that name itself. And that's interesting. It came to me and my partner. And we picked that name because we don't just want people to just sign up with us. We want them to vow to themselves like, hey, I'm coming onto you guys to help me get to my goals, but at the same time vow to myself that I'm going to accomplish this within an X amount of time. So the website itself is Voltarium.com. How do you spell it? Voltarium, VOTARUM.
I'm about to say, it's your website. You should know.
I just went blank for a second.
It's all good.
Blank for a second. VOTARUM, .com. Whenever you get to your website, it's going to basically show you our team. At the same time, it's going to tell you exactly what we do. We do help brides, get to their fitness goals or get ready for your wedding, especially shining at wedding. Okay. So you are going to be booking a call with either me or one of my teammates, and we are going to basically take you to a questionnaire to see if you qualify to be working with us, because we really don't take everybody. Like I'm not going to take somebody that just want us just because of it. We want someone that's really going to be dedicated. Is going to
they got to really want
process.
Yep.
They really want it. They're going to go through the process, and that's how we're going to help you. But Voltarium itself is a fitness program, and with two coaches, including me, myself, and another coach that can help you get to your goals, which is basically get you ready for your wedding. We help you spiritually, we help you mentally, we help you, of course, physically, and get to that goals. But yeah, go on the website yourself, book a call, and if you qualify, of course, we're going to accept you as a client.
Oh, yeah. Wow. He gave you guys a whole lot of nuggets today. Yeah, and one of the things is like, remember, guys, you guys have to eat just to fuel your muscles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the problem with overeating, I think one of the worst, two of the worst companies that for me that were ever created was Golden Corral and what's that buffet place? Golden Corral and something else. I can't remember right now. But the buffet places. I mean, I've been to buffets before where I'm like, this dude is 300 pounds. He's like 6'1", 6'2", okay? Nice size, tall, but he like 300 pounds. And he got one plate, 4-course meal, another plate, 3-course meal, and the dessert got 4-course meals on there. One serving. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, you're only supposed to feed your body to where it's not, you're not supposed to overfeed your body. You're not supposed to overeat, and because that's where the fat comes. And I read, and you tell me if this is true or not. I read that when you eat, it takes 6 hours for your food to digest. So if you eat at 8 o'clock in the morning, you really by 2 o'clock, you know what I mean, 1, 2 o'clock, that's when that food that you just ate that digests. So imagine this: you ate at 8. Okay, you say you had oatmeal, what else? Or so no, just say your eggs, oatmeal, eggs, avocado, bacon, whatever, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, you giving the healthy stuff. I'm just throwing something out there. Say you had all that, right? Yeah. So you ate all that, and say from 8 to 8:30 you ate all that, right? So 30 minutes took you to devour all that food. Yeah. Okay, cool. So now, then this is what an overeater does. Then by like 10 o'clock, I go have a snack. I go have like, whatever, some chips and some, guacamole, whatever, right? Okay, your body is still digesting the first round of food that you have in your body. Yeah. So now you done double time your digestion, digestive system, because now you went from 8 to 1. Now you had some food at 10:30. Now you got to go from 10 to 3. Yeah. And so you really, and that's 2 meals. You ain't even got to lunch and dinner yet. You know what I mean?
Then let me ask you a question.
So it's like, come on,
Between breakfast and lunch, how long do you think the time difference is?
Between breakfast and lunch?
Let's say, for example, you wake up at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay. You do breakfast, probably 30 minutes after you wake up. That's what most people usually do, 30 minutes to an hour after you wake up, and then till lunchtime, which is probably 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock. Yeah. How long do you think that is? Time frame?
Usually about 4 or 5 hours, yeah.
I would say about 6 hours.
Okay, yeah.
So breakfast, lunch. Remember I told you earlier. Yeah. You tell them breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah. That's what they need to eat. And then between lunch and dinner, let's say dinner's at 7 p.m. How long do you think that is? Yeah. Again, same thing, same time frame. So you do need that time frame. Yes. To digest your food, because if you're not giving yourself that time frame to digest your food, and you're just indulging in more food and more food and more food, you're just gonna pack on more weight and more weight. And
then, like you said, at 7 o'clock at night, you eat 7, 8 o'clock. Some people eat at 10 o'clock at night. Yeah. 10 o'clock at night, say you go to bed by 11, your food is just sitting there while you're asleep. Yeah. And that's when people start getting the rolls and and all that stuff. I'm like, well, yeah, because you're eating at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, and you got your body needs to digest the food. Well, guess what? While you're sleeping, it's sitting there. Yeah. You're not, at least while you're up and you're out or whatever, you're burning the fat. If you're walking, if you're exercising, whatever, you're burning it a little bit, right? You're helping your digestive system a little bit more. Yes. But when you're asleep, it's just sitting there.
And that is true, because I do recommend to a lot of people who eat on a regular basis as well. After you're done eating, I recommend going on like a 15-minute walk.
There you go.
That actually helps your food digest faster. Yeah. And then from there, you just basically continue with your day, whatever you want to do. 15 minutes, like nothing, Yeah. It's literally nothing out of your entire day. And that's literally after every time you eat. Mm-hmm. Every time you eat, go on a walk. It will actually help your food digest. So in case if you're hungry like 3 hours later or 4 hours later, you can actually eat something. And again, same process, go on a walk, Yeah. quick walk. Just walk your dog if you have a dog. If you have a cat, walk your cat too.
I don't know how far you gonna get walking a cat. Yeah.
Oh, walk that too.
You're a cat person, huh?
I became a cat person.
I don't know how you do it, man. Like I had a cat. Like my daughter has a cat named Rosie right now. She lives with her mom, but primarily lives with her mom. But she has a cat named Rosie. I had a cat named Diamond growing up. Let me tell you, man. I'm a dog person, but I went on and tried a cat. The side story. Yeah. Went on and tried a cat. And named Diamond. I was feeding the cat. Everything was cool. It was a beautiful cat. Like, you know, it was like gray and pink. And it had some mixture of colors, right? Two-tone color. It was a beautiful cat. One day, I don't know if the cat was like feeling bitchy or something. I don't know what was going on. But I went and was going to give some catnip, right? And the cat, because I guess I took too long to feed her throughout that day, because I usually give it to her in the morning, but I was at work and I was tired or something. So she meow, like she was like kept meow. I'm like, all right, let me go feed. It's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, I was feeding her, and she and scratched my arm. I was like, oh hell no! I grabbed the cat. And I said, and I threw her out. I threw out my. Now she wasn't one of those, because she was still kind of like a kitten, but not full grown, but. You know, she was with me for about a year. But then I was like, oh, no, like, I'm the one feeding you. I'm the one housing you and all that. And I don't know if, you know, how cats are supposedly, it's just like dogs or animals, like they know where the home is or whatever. Yeah, I'm thinking, okay, well, I flung her ass outside the house, right? I'm thinking like she gonna come back, you know, whatever. She never came back. But I was like, hold on, I'm feeding you. Like, I'm the one who wanted you. My mom didn't want you or anything. My mom was like, no, I don't want cats. I'm like, I convinced my mom, because I was living with mom at the time I was younger, and I convinced my mom to get a cat. She scratched the hell out of me. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, hell no. So I grabbed her by the back of her thing and flung her out. And so ever since then, I'm cool. Like, I do cane corsos, I do Rottweilers, I do German Shepherds, I do Pit Bulls, I do dogs. Like, something that's going to, if somebody break into my house, they're going to protect my house. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or they're going to be, you know, some kind of security. So, where did the love for cats come from?
That just came out of nowhere, to be honest. I'm actually a dog person. I've had dogs all my life. You know, I'm actually in the process of getting another dog right now. Okay. But that just came into my life. It was actually one of my friends. This is whenever I move in by myself. You know, I'm staying, you know, in the apartment right there. She was like, hey, you by yourself. You don't have, you know, nobody. Like, it's just you. And at the same time, I was going through some process in my life as well.
I got you.
So she's a notary, so she went to notarize something at an animal shelter, and then she saw this cat, and then the cat looked so sad, and then that's when she called me. She's like, hey, I need a favor from you. I was like, what? And she's like, I want you to basically come look at this cat. You know, you don't have to take it. I just want you to look at it and see if it calls onto you, and then you can take it home. And I said no the first day, and then she called me again the next day. And then she called me literally at least for a week, 5 days straight. Every day. Every single day until I said yes. So I was like, okay, sure. Let me go look at it. So I went to go look, went to the shelter, and I saw the cat. Cat was really sad, you know, at first, but now she's happier. And that's when I adopted, you know, a cat from there. I didn't even know. I went there with the mentality not to get no animal.
That's usually what happens. Yeah.
I am not getting this cat. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna be like, okay, you're ugly. I'm gonna go.
Yes.
Simple as that. And I got there, and she started making like a cat face. It's like, hey, look at that cat. Wouldn't you want to take that cat home? You know. And wow. I looked at her face, and I looked at it. I was like, oh my god. I guess from there, 5 hours, not even 5 hours, like an hour later, I already signed paper and adopted the cat. Wow. And I took the cat home. In the first week, it was a little bit challenging because she was new to the home and she was hiding and all of that. But I'm not going to lie. I do notice something, though. If you do get a cat or any animal, whenever, you know, you spend time with them, you get bonded to them, you know. Yeah. And then one time, I actually let her out, and I didn't see her for a while. I was like, well, I guess this cat's gone. But then I was freaking out, like, oh, where's my damn cat? I never thought I was going to be looking for a freaking cat in my life. And I started looking for my cat. I started asking my neighbor, where's my cat? Where's my cat? And then later that evening, she came back. And yeah, that's definitely my cat. That's how I got into cats. I never, ever ever, as in ever. I've always had dogs in my family. We've always had dogs. Never. And whenever I broke that news to my family, to my parents, they were like, "Oh my God, Africans."
Yes.
They're like, "Oh my God, now he's dealing with the witches."
You know how that goes, yeah. Like they go to the witch doctor and all this other stuff. Like,
and then I was like, no, it's not how it works. I just needed a companion. And literally, dogs are definitely there to protect you as well.
Yeah.
Cats, they're just there to just keep you happy, I guess, just having somebody, in the home that you can come home to and stuff like that. So that is basically what my cat is. And her name is Leah, by the way, if ever want to know.
Leah, congratulations. Yeah, I'm gonna start calling you the Cat Man from now on, man. You got Batman and Cat Man,
People do call me that, but no, don't call me that.
I got you. No, well, Odi, it was great having you here on Wealth Champs, man. It's a blessing you being here. Like I said, I see you around the apartment unit all the time. It's been a while since I've seen you because I know you be in and out with your clients and everything. And it's funny, before we go, my old office, you work out over there. I know the owner. He's a young dude. I know him. Yeah. Actually, I think he stays in our apartment unit too. I've seen him over there. I don't know if he stays or he has people that's over there. But next time you talk to him, be like, hey, do you have somebody that stays in Paseos or whatever?
Yeah. I would definitely ask him that because I didn't even know he says it.
Yeah. I used to have that office that you see, that office that's that diamond card office right there. That was my office before I moved over here.
Nice.
So it's just ironic. So when I seen you working out on your story, I was like, that looks like so-and-so's place. Like, he's the only one that I knew during the pandemic that stayed open. Like he was getting fined, but he was like, I don't give a damn. Like I'm keeping my business open. He was kept making money. So kudos to him for that. But
he's definitely one of the person that impacted my life because he showed me the hustle part. You know? Like you have to hustle. It doesn't matter what anybody tells you. Like you still have to go after what you like.
There you go.
He's the type of person that will go after what he wants no matter what. And of course he does it with a good heart. He's a good person, and he's helped me in the past as well. So definitely props to Joe. His name is Joe Capote.
Absolutely. Yeah, Joe, man. Shout out to Joe.
Yeah.
Well, Odi, thank you for blessing Wealth Champs, man. Welcome to the Wealth Champs family. How outside of the website, YouTube, Instagram, how's Twitter? How can they find you?
YouTube is coming up. The same thing for Instagram and Twitter. It is going to basically my name, Odi, and then the Bright Fit itself. Okay. So Odi, the
underscore
Bright Fit Coach. No.
Oh, no underscore. Okay.
Underscore, just Odi, the Bright Fit Coach. Is basically the first one.
Okay.
That's gonna pop up. So
ODI,
all right. By the way.
ODI.
Yeah.
So Odi, the Bright Fix Coach, Instagram, and you said Twitter, right?
Correct, and Twitter as well.
And Twitter.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, if you guys need to reach him, brides, males, whoever, if you guys want to get in shape, he's the man with the master plan. Thank you for tuning in. You guys, again, like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit that notification bell. Until then, Wealth Champs family, we out.